Happy April, friends! We have experienced a change of season since my last video blog, and we are now fully rolling into spring for a couple of weeks. Mind you, it hasn't felt like spring much in Chicago lately. Just the other day, I drove past a bed of daffodils that looked like they had some stern words to share with Mother Nature about the temperatures of the day. Little did those bulbs know when they got planted last fall that the warm temperatures in February and March that coaxed them out of hibernation would take a turn back to winter-like numbers. What can you say? It's Chicago. We should be used to it by now, and those daffodils should know better. But I know that consistently warmer days are just around the corner, and I'm excited for the outdoor biking season to begin. March Madness has now drawn to a close also. I don't really follow much college basketball, but I do like the human interest stories that surround the men's and women's tournament. And lots of my friends get totally invested in March Madness in their brackets. So it's kind of unavoidable to pay attention. And I think about that phrase, March Madness. I can't help but notice that my life hasn't felt anything like madness lately. In fact, I'd have to say that life is actually pretty calm these days overall, which is saying something because that tends to not be my default setting through the years. I was talking with a friend the other day about the fact that my life feels like a relatively calm sea at this point in time, and they asked a great follow-up question. They asked me if I had any idea of why things felt so calm in my life right now. And that got me to thinking. When Emily gets thinking, I say, watch out, world. I guess one of the primary reasons that I'm pretty calm these days is because I feel like I'm checking a lot of things off of my mental to-do list. Things in my condo are in pretty good order. I've made a few subtle changes after buying the unit back in 22, but now I feel like most things are the way that I want and need them to be. There is also a great deal of security in knowing that I now own my unit and am no longer renting it. That year-to-year pattern of wondering if I would have to move because the owner might want to sell the unit I was renting created a great deal of unsettledness for me. I've got things in pretty good order for my taxes and stuff this year as well. In fact, I had a really great call with my financial advisor last week, and it looks like I'm in good shape overall as I head into the remainder of 2024. Which is really good news because I have big plans for the balance of the year. Normally, I would be getting the travel bug about now, but honestly, I'm okay with waiting to see what unfolds later this year. I'm certainly open to taking some sort of trip, but I don't feel like I need a getaway just to survive. One of my best travel partners is heading to Japan later this week. But I've already been to Japan once, and I'm not feeling the calling to go back. Now, if she was going back to South America, I might feel a little bit of FOMO, but for now I'm good. I'll be heading back to the Twin Cities for Passover later this month. Last year was a little hard because it was the first Jewish holiday since my dad died. But this year I feel like I've a bit more space and distance to process the grief of his departure, so I sense it will feel a bit more like a normal family gathering again, whatever that means. Normal is a very interesting word these days. Who knows what's normal any longer? I will definitely still miss not having my dad there, but at the same time, I'm focusing on being able to spend a few days with my mom, other family members, and friends. I'm also really excited about a panel discussion I'm participating in later this week at the Chicago Opera House. It's part of Tony P. networking events. They are interviewing a panel of female entrepreneurs, and I'm honored to be one of the panel members. Please join me on Thursday. I would love to see you there. All of this is helping me advance my career as a speaker and author. And while I'm a little bit nervous, I've done some good preparation and I feel like everything is going to go really well. The panel discussion, which is called Celebrate and Elevate, will be one of my first chances to talk publicly about my book. How exciting! Speaking about that, I've started talking to publication partners, and I'm currently discerning between finding a small independent publisher versus going the self-publishing route. My writing coach and co-author is starting to pull together the pieces of the project in a way that seems like it will take greater form over the next 4 to 6 weeks. So it's time to start planning for the next steps on the path. It's a big process. But it's yet another thing that I'm clearing off my mental to-do list. Like I said earlier in this video blog, with all of these good and exciting things coming together in my life, it's easy to see why I've been pretty calm overall lately. And at the same time, I realize that there will be waves of turbulence again at some point in the future. What's interesting is that in the past, I would actually be waiting for the other shoe to drop at times when it seemed like everything was going well. I don't feel that way so much this time around. Maybe it's because I think that things will mostly keep getting better and better. But the other thing I realize is that even when the storms do get a little stormy again, I've done the work to be ready for those waves. In fact, I've been doing it for years and years now, and the dividends seem to be compounding in a really good way. So with that in mind, I encourage you all to continue to do the work. Keep working on yourself, and even when it doesn't feel like you're making progress, you actually are. A few years ago, I never dreamed I would be months away from having a completed manuscript about the story of my life of living with MS for 43 years. And yet here I am getting closer and closer to the finish line. Well, that's all for this month. Enjoy the rest of April and stay tuned for more from me soon. Love to you all. Ciao, ciao for now.